Because I love physical media, because you love physical media, because physical media is something that should be celebrated and supported. Today I want to share with you fine folks all of the physical media releases that I've picked up over the past couple of months. So first let's start with two Vinegar Syndrome releases. I did an unboxing of both of these releases just recently. Go check out that video for a more in-depth look at both of these beautiful releases from Vinegar Syndrome. The first, the Prophecy 1, 2, and 3 4K set, and I love the packaging on this one. I just sit and do that over and over again. Just hours and hours of my day I spend just opening it like this and just over and over and over and over, over and over and over and over and over and over. It's not that easy to... Anyway, a beautiful release for The Prophecy 1 through 3. I've not had a chance to check out part 1 in 4K, but I'm going to do that very soon. The Prophecy is, in my opinion, one of the most underrated movies of the 90s. If you've not seen it, see it immediately. Next, Fatal Games making its Blu-ray debut. I did a review of Fatal Games 5 years ago. I watched a VHS rip of the movie that was on YouTube. I was compelled to review it, and revisiting it, I was reminded of how just strange this movie is. And in a very, not creepy way, but kind of a cringy way, when you consider how certain characters in the film who are supposed to be adults are interacting with other characters in the film who are supposed to be teens, very early 20s. I don't know. I hope they're supposed to be in their early 20s and not teens, but honestly, I'm not sure. It's very unprofessional. Also, when I revisited the movie, something stuck out to me, and that's I was just bored most of the time. When I wasn't cringing at that kind of creepiness, I was just kind of bored. Still, I'm glad the movie has been preserved and restored in high def from Vinegar Syndrome. Next, we have two Visual Vengeance releases. The first one I did a review of, Scream Queen with Linnea Quigley. This was a lost movie until Visual Vengeance found it. Go check out that review for my thoughts on the movie and on this release. Next, The Wrong Door. I've not had a chance to check out The Wrong Door just yet. If you've seen The Wrong Door, please let me know your thoughts on it down in the comments below. Next, we have a 4K release, part of Warner Brothers' 100-year celebrating every story thing. Evil Dead Rise. I did a review of Evil Dead Rise when it first came out in theaters. I liked it, but I wasn't, I didn't love it, but I am looking forward to revisiting it in 4K. I will say this, though. The Evil Dead series is really, at this point, the only long-running horror franchise that... is there a bad entry? I think this would be the worst entry in the series, and it's really not bad. So I think that says something. Next, from Full Moon, Blue Rita, a Jess Franco film. I've not had a chance to check out the movie or this Blu-ray just yet. I've never heard of Blue Rita. I've certainly heard of Jess Franco, and I've seen a number of his films. So I think I know what I'm in store for. But if you've seen Blue Rita, let me know your thoughts on it down in the comments section. Here's a couple of titles I picked up from a used bookstore. First up, the Severin Blu-ray release for Horror Express. It stars Christopher Lee and Peter Cushing and Telly Savalas. That's quite a cast. The plot synopsis sounded interesting. It's a Severin release, so I know the extras are going to be pretty cool. If you've seen this movie, let me know your thoughts on it. Here is a Vinegar Syndrome double feature. We have Horror High and Stanley. Now, I had a chance to check out either of these just yet, But if you've seen them, let me know your thoughts. Here's a movie that I did recently check out, and I enjoyed quite a bit. The Jester. I did a mini review of this movie. Go check that out for my full thoughts on The Jester. But I enjoyed it a lot, really. Most people will probably compare the movie and the character of the Jester to Terrifier and Art the Clown. I was told by several people in the comments of my mini review of the Jester that the Jester, or actually the short that the Jester is based on, came out long before Terrifier, but whatever. Anyway, if you've not seen the Jester, I say check it out. Next is a Blu-ray I picked up dirt cheap. It's one of the only Romero zombie films I don't already own. It's certainly not one of my favorite Romero zombie films, but I felt like I needed to add it to the collection. Survival of the Dead. If there's any fans of Survival of the Dead out there, please let me know down in the comments. I remember not hating this movie. Put it that way. Next, we have the new Vestron Collector's Series release for Blue Steel. Now, this is a really good movie that I never hear anybody talk about. So when I saw that Vestron was releasing this as part of their Collector's Series, well, Lionsgate was releasing it as part of their Vestron Collector's Series, I was excited. The movie, of course, stars Jamie Lee Curtis. It's directed by Catherine Bigelow. It's co-written by Catherine Bigelow and Eric Red, who also brought us Near Dark. I've always liked this movie a lot, and I'm glad that it got this new Blu-ray release, so hopefully more people will see it also. Next up, we have the 4K Collector's Edition release for the best horror film of 2023 by far, The Exorcist Believer. If you've seen my review of The Exorcist Believer, then you know that I'm joking. I skipped the movie in theaters, but I decided to check it out courtesy of this release. Go check out my review for my full thoughts on the movie as well as this release, which surprisingly, it kind of lives up to its collector's edition title. There's lots of extras on here, a commentary, I think 2 commentaries actually, or maybe just 1, I don't remember. Anyway, lots of extras. So if you are a fan of The Exorcist Believer, this is a keeper. Here's our first DVD release. This is actually the second DVD of this movie that I've owned. The first one, the disc got all scratched up and was unplayable. It's Santa's Sleigh, starring Bill Goldberg as a murderous Santa Claus. Need I say more? I love this movie. It's great fun. If you've not seen Santa's Sleigh, by all means, go see Santa's Sleigh. You can pick up this DVD for like $10 on Amazon, and I guarantee you will add it to your yearly holiday horror roundup. It's it's a lot of fun. I really wish they'd make Santa's Sleigh too. Goldberg still got it. So I would love a Santa's Sleigh too. Next up from Radiance, we have Messiah of Evil. Now, I started watching this movie the other day, and I was getting into it. It's a bit artsy. Not that that's a bad thing, but I was getting into it, and something came up, and I had to stop, and I've just not had a chance to go back and finish it. I'll probably start it all over again, but I was enjoying what I was watching up until that point. But yeah, this is a really nice release for Messiah of Evil from Radiance. This one sounds like a real hoot. The Blue Jean Monster. And let me read to you just some of this plot synopsis. I'm sure you will agree. After a brave Hong Kong lawman is killed in a shootout, his body is reanimated by a Frankenstein-style bolt of lightning. Provided he gets crank-style regular jolts of electricity, he continues to fight crime as an invulnerable zombie cop. I can't wait to see it. Next up is a movie that came highly recommended to me by pretty much everybody. God is a Bullet. On paper, it sounds right up my alley. It's a revenge movie. If you're familiar with my channel, you know I love revenge movies. Great cast. Micah Monroe turns in a phenomenal performance. She's awesome. She's awesome in everything. It Follows, Watcher, this, what was The Guest? But I don't know. I just couldn't get into it. I thought it was kind of predictable and by the book, and I don't know. I couldn't get into it. It's not a bad movie. It's a really long movie, but it's just Next, we have a couple of titles I picked up during Amazon's Black Friday. The first is the 4K Steelbook for Gattaca. Now, this is a great movie. Another one that I don't hear a lot of people talk about, but I freaking love this movie. Great movie. If you've not seen it, I highly recommend it. Great cast, great story, just and a movie that really, I don't know, it makes you think and it makes you feel. Any movie that can make me think and feel, I like. And I got the 2-film collection for The Meg and Meg 2, The Trench. It's a giant shark movie starring Jason Statham. I enjoyed the first Meg a lot. I've yet to see Meg 2, The Trench, but I hear it's even more ridiculous and over the top than the first one, so that sounds good to me. If you've seen Meg 2, The Trench, let me know your thoughts on it down in the comments section below. Next, we have a 4K release from Kino Lorber. I did a full review of this movie and of this release. Go check out that video. It is The Monster Squad. This movie just gives me all sorts of warm, fuzzy, nostalgic feels. I've loved this movie since I was a kid. I still love it. It's it just takes me back. I think we've all got those movies in our collection that just take us back and give us those nostalgic feels. The Monster Squad is definitely one of those movies for me. Let's pause for a moment and take a look at a different kind of physical media. A kind of physical media that deserves to be supported and preserved just as much as this kind of physical media. And that's the written word. The first book I want to talk about is one I had no idea even existed. It is written by Tobe Hooper, one of my all-time favorite directors. He directed, of course, The Texas Chainsaw Massacre, my all-time favorite horror film. I had no idea that he'd also written a novel. But here it is, Midnight Movie. And it's very meta. Let's just say that Tobe Hooper is in the book as himself. It's written from his perspective. Here's the plot. The good news. Director Tobe Hooper has been invited to speak at a screening of Destiny Express, a movie he wrote and directed as a teenager but that hasn't seen the light of day in decades. And Hooper's fans are ecstatic. The bad news, Destiny Express proves to be a killer. Literally. As the death toll mounts, Tobe embarks on a desperate journey to understand the film's 30-year-old origins and put an end to the strange epidemic his creation has set in motion. If anybody's read Midnight Movie, please let me know your thoughts on it down in the comments section below. The next one I picked up is the Silent Night, Deadly Night novelization by Armando Munoz. Now, if you know me, you know that I love the movie Silent Night, Deadly Night. So when I saw that it was getting its own novelization, I couldn't say no. So basically what Armando has done here is he's taken the script and expanded it into a novel and expanded it beyond what we've seen on the screen. Armando also did a novelization for My Bloody Valentine. I had him and My Bloody Valentine director George Mahalka on the channel for a bloodstream to talk about the movie, the book, its legacy, so on and so forth. So go check out that bloodstream. Next, I picked up The Shards, the new Bret Easton Ellis novel. I'm a huge fan of Bret Easton Ellis. American Psycho is one of my all-time favorite books, and I'm looking forward to checking this one out. The last book I picked up is the novelization for She Kills. It was the plot synopsis on the back of this book that definitely sold me. I'm not going to read the plot synopsis here, but I can tell you that if you read it, you will buy this book. Back to the Blu-rays and DVDs, and first, let's start with a DVD. I picked this up at a used bookstore for cheap. It is Gator Bait. This film is directed by the Sebastians, who also brought us Rocktober Blood. I'd heard of Gator Bait, but I'd not seen the film, so it looks good to me. If you've seen Gator Bait, please let me know down in the comments section below. Next, from Unearthed Films, it is the 15th anniversary edition for Dead Girl. I love this movie. This is a heavy movie. Probably not going to be for everybody, but I absolutely love it. When I saw that Unearthed was releasing this Blu-ray, I just had to have it. And it's loaded with new extras, so I'm looking forward to revisiting the movie on this disc and checking out all of the extras. Next, we have from Ronin Films, The Lost. And this is another movie I love. When I saw that Ronin Films was releasing this on Blu-ray, I had to have it, based on the novel by the late, great Jack Ketchum. This is another one that's pretty heavy, but I don't know. I love it. I'm looking forward to revisiting it on this Blu-ray, and this Blu-ray has a lot of new extras on it too, so looking forward to checking those out also. Next, we have a couple of releases that my buddy Rob sent me for Christmas. The first is a very nice release from Kino Lorber for A Girl Walks Home Alone at Night. I've not seen this movie, though I've heard really good things about it. And he sent me really just about the only Vestron Collector's Series release that I didn't already own, and that is the director's cut for Dementia 13. This was Francis Ford Coppola's directorial debut. It's been a few years since I last saw Dementia 13, so I will definitely be revisiting it thanks to this release, and thanks to you, Rob. Next, we have an upcoming release from Synapse Films. This is the 4K for Blood Feast. This is, of course, a remake of the H.G. Lewis film, and it's got a really cool cast. Robert Russler, Carolyn Williams, Sophie Monk. Yeah, looking forward to checking out Blood Feast in 4K. Next, we have from Unearthed Films, Mexico Barrio 2. Now, this is an anthology in which 9 Mexican directors come together to tell stories about the most brutal, ruthless, and bizarre Mexican traditions and legends. Sounds good to me. Next, I picked up the filmmaker's signature series Blu-ray release for William Friedkin's The French Connection. I picked this up at a used bookstore for just a few bucks. I do believe this release is like going for, or at one time it was going for big money on eBay, because if you don't know, The French Connection has recently been censored, and versions of it that are on streaming services are now the censored version. So if you want the uncensored version of The French Connection, you got to get it on physical. Great film. William Friedkin was a tremendous filmmaker. He will definitely be missed. Next is a 4K release from Severin Films. When I first heard that Severin was releasing this movie on 4K, I was absolutely giddy. It is long overdue for this kind of treatment. I'm talking about De la Morte de la More, aka Cemetery Man. I did a full unboxing of this release. I actually got the That's De la More bundle from Severin during their Black Friday sale. It came with some pins. It came with a snow globe, a shirt. I'm actually wearing the shirt right now, as a matter of fact. For the longest time, this movie was trapped on DVD, but along comes Severin and gives it the kind of release it so richly deserves. If you've not seen De la Morte de la More, aka Cemetery Man, see it. Thank me later. And to close things out, I've got a few Arrow releases. First, the Savage Guns box set, which contains 4 classic westerns, one of them being a Lucio Fulci film, which is making its Blu-ray debut here. The 4 of the Apocalypse is that film. This set also includes I Want Him Dead, El Puro, and Wrath of the Wind. All of the movies have brand new extras, and this is a really nice box set. I recently did a short showing off this box set and everything that comes inside of it. Go check out that short, but yeah, really, really nice box set here. Next, we have a 4K limited edition release for Barbarella, and this is a beautiful release for the movie. I love the colors here on the slip. The 4K looks great, by the way. We get 2 discs, lots of extras. We get a thick booklet here, a poster. If you're a fan of Barbarella, this needs to be in your collection. Here we have another limited edition 4K release. However, this one I did a full review of, going over the movie as well as everything that's included on the release. So if you want to know more about the Tremors 2 Aftershocks limited edition 4K, go check out that video. And lastly, but certainly not leastly, another 4K limited edition release, this one for Walter Hill's The Warriors. This one also looks stunning in 4K, 2 discs, lots of new extras, as well as a lot of cool stuff included inside. This is an awesome release for The Warriors. If you're a fan of The Warriors, get it. So there you go, all of the physical media releases that I've picked up over the past couple of months. Let me know your thoughts on any or all of them down in the comments section below. If you like this video, please leave it a thumbs up and share it on social media. As always, thank you so much for watching. I hope everybody's 2024 has gotten off to a great start, and I want to wish everybody out there a healthy, safe, prosperous, and love-filled new year. Take care, and until next time, peace. A huge thank you to all my patrons and channel members for your generosity and support. Become a patron today and get early access to videos, have a say in what content appears on my channel, join me for monthly live streams, exclusive watch parties, and more. Become a channel member today and get access to exclusive badges and emotes to use when I stream, as well as members-only watch parties. Both those links are in the description. Say hello to the internet, Jeremy.
Hello to the internet.